What's going on, LightSaber Radio family? What's happening? We got some good topics. We got a completely difference of opinions here. I mean, Garrison is going through about this last Ahsoka episode, but it will be great because we're going to talk about it a little bit more. But first, we're going to get to that intro video.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Lost we will reveal ourselves.
I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now LightSaber Radio. If you only knew the power of gods.
Here it comes.
Let's go.
You are now tuned in to LightSaber Radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
Okay, everybody, we got Star Wars team leader is in the house. He said, I called it zombies and they got left behind. And I called it too. Dave wasn't going to kill Balin. I knew he wasn't. He wasn't going to kill Ray Stevens. It wasn't going to happen. But they got to recast him now. They fucking have to recast him. And they got to explain what the fuck. Why is the fucking... Okay, we'll get into it. Hey, Chris. But me and A Infected, we were having a discussion before we came on here because, you know, we usually talk about a little bit of stuff before we go onto the episode. And we were in a bit of an argument because Garrison thinks this shit was garbage.
I did.
And I think that it was fucking pretty damn good. So we were arguing about it.
Bro, you said so yourself it wasn't the best. So
It wasn't the best. I'm not saying it was the best, but it's still in the top 3 episodes. And LightSaber Duel top episode. It's the top episode with lightsaber duels.
It did have the best lightsaber duel. I agree. It did have the best, but it's not a lightsaber duel.
Ahsoka and
It wasn't a lightsaber duel though.
But it fucking was a lightsaber.
It was a duel, but it wasn't a lightsaber duel. No.
Well, what the fuck are you talking about? It's a fucking lightsaber duel.
That was a
fucking swords can't fight lightsabers. That motherfucker was Mother Talzin's fucking sword, and it was fucking crafted in Sith magic.
It was a magic sword. It wasn't a lightsaber.
Same fucking thing. You see when it cut her, it fucking burnt her the fuck up. She had 2 burn marks across her stomach. So you know what I'm saying? Same fucking thing.
It was a great duel, but it wasn't a lightsaber.
It was the same.
It was anticlimactic.
It was. There was some things wrong with it. I'm not gonna say. Still, episode 5 is my favorite episode of the season. Episode 5 was my favorite episode of the season.
I still think this would have made
Last
like an 8
episode,
or 9 out of 10 movie. I swear, if you would have just made this season 1 or 2 movies, the movie would have been like 8 or 9 out of 10.
I don't know.
I think it would have been so much better.
I liked it. Like I said, the only things that I really didn't like is, first off, Sabine, you're struggling to pick up a lightsaber. You finally get the lightsaber up, and then you can throw Ezra across the fucking thing. That shit was garbage. Hell. Ezra would have died.
That's so fucking stupid.
That shit was fucking dumb. And then I'm not holding this against it at all, because I like that they left us on a cliffhanger, but you can't leave us on a cliffhanger with Balin fucking standing on the Mortis gods. You fucking can't do that. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I want to know now. I definitely want to know more about Balin.
That was probably my favorite part of the episode right there.
Dude, that fucking part was spectacular. Like, you could see,
it was amazing.
Like, the fucking daughter's missing her head. You know what I'm saying? Because of just fucking rain or whatever, erosion. But you could definitely see the son, and he's standing on the father's arm. And so it gives you it gave me a sense of, like, I know what's going on now. Like, that's what he's fucking looking for. I think at one point in time, the Mortis guys were there. They left something behind. And I like that they explained that shit. So, you know, he's searching for this fucking, whatever this power is. And it might be a portal to Mortis. We don't fucking know. But I just didn't like the fact that don't leave me in a position where if y'all don't recast fucking Balin as somebody else, we don't get no fucking answers on what the fuck
They have.
that's
Dude,
what I'm worried about.
There's no chance. Yeah, they're gonna recast him. There's no chance.
They have to recast him now because it's like, dude, you can't leave us right there and we know Ray Stevens is dead. You can't do that. That's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? That is seriously bad. Before we get too much farther, happy fucking October, Halloween time. It's my favorite time of the year. As you see,
I can tell, bro. It looks good.
Like Halloween is the shit. Halloween is one time that everybody in the world can just dress up and nobody gives a fuck. You can be whatever you want to be for that fucking one day. So October is the shit. I mean, it was like Bodhi. Okay, I will agree with you on that. It was poetic, but don't leave me there where I don't fucking know what happens. Like, dude, that sucks. And from them leaving, like Dave writes shit when Dave writes, and I listened to some interviews about Dave talking about how he writes. You know what I'm saying? When Dave writes, he usually has an idea for a whole fucking thing. Like he said he wrote complete fucking like all 4 seasons of fucking Rebels at one time. Like he had all the treatments done. So Balin has to be in it more because that's the way he would have wrote it. Unless he went back and changed it. But that's not usually Dave's thing. But I just don't know who they can get to recast him and fucking play him as good as Ray Stevens. That's what kind of irritates me. But at the same time, it irritates me that I need to know now what the fuck is going on. Especially because some of the shit that fucking Balin says throughout this series, and I went back and looked because there's a rumor running around, and there's no evidence of, like, it's not in Wikipedia or it's not in any of the other Star Wars references, that Balin is Qui-Gon's first apprentice. And so, and then he says some Qui-Gon shit throughout this series. If you listen to some of the things he says, and like the rumors going around, there's been a couple news articles and like reading through and some of the stuff that he says, and then you match it to what Qui-Gon would say, it's fucking very Qui-Gon-ish. But that's not confirmed. It's just a rumor because there's no fucking evidence that I could find online that Balin is fucking Qui-Gon or anything that I remember reading. I know he had, I want to say he had a fucking apprentice named, I'm pretty sure it started with a T. It's like, I can't remember what it was, but it starts with a T. And that's in the Kenobi book because Kenobi meets the fucking previous apprentice before that. But at the same time, now I want to know the story. I want to know, like, what the fuck Balin is looking for. What, and hopefully, and I'm not, you know what I'm saying, because we know that he passed away, but we don't know how much filming they had got done before that, so he could be in season 2. Because nobody's questioning at this point that there's going to be a season 2. Fuck, I mean, there was a Twitter post that was posted that got deleted about season 2. The Star Wars, on the Star Wars Twitter, or X, you know, whatever fuck y'all want to call it. It's Twitter. But, you know what I'm saying? So there was a deleted post about season 2. So, I mean, come on now. We all know that there's going to be a season 2, especially because it's Dave shit. Dave's like third in command or second in command of fucking Lucasfilms. There's going to be a second season. But I want to know now. I really fucking want to know. Like, out of everything on this whole fucking series, like, I mean, we can speculate on somebody's going to rescue them. Fucking the whales is going to come. They're going to find a portal back to the fucking galaxy. You know, some way they getting back. You know what I'm saying? Some way fucking Ahsoka and them is getting back. They'll be back before the second episode of season 2. So, like, that we all understand. It's not like they're just going to be stuck there. It'd be kind of fucking crazy if they were stuck there and Ezra's the actual real fucking character of the show and they just fucking booed us on the first fucking season, made it really about Ahsoka, but it's about Ezra. Disney's known to do some shit like that, make it about the secondary character. But but we know that they're going to get back. We know this. So now the only thing that's really intriguing, like this fucking, just like I really, really want to fucking know. I want to know more about Balin. I want to know more about why is he standing on the mortal god arm. You know what I'm saying? I want to know more about that. And for them to like leave us right there was kind of sucky. It was like, dude, and not knowing anything about it, like if that's just where it ends for Balin, like we don't see Balin ever again. Like that's not a fucking. You can't leave me fucking wanting that so bad and then just fucking say no. That's just fucked up. Like write a book, do something to explain this shit.
I could see maybe Shin like finding his dead body or something, but you can't like get rid of Balin. Like that was a major story. That was a major part of the story. He was the most intriguing character in the show. His plot, his motivation, his whole storyline was the most intriguing part of the show. So I don't know how you don't at least address it in season 2.
Well, and some people, you know, there's been some things that what's his face is gonna be they might cast what the fuck is that guy's name? He kind of looks like him.
Looks like Ray Stevenson.
Yeah, he kind of looks like him, like in the face. I can't think of the dude's name right now. Fuck, why can't I think of his name? I can't even think of a movie that he played in. Fuck.
Bro, I know. Already
said more curious about Shin. Shin's gonna die, or she's gonna turn to the light side.
He's just curious about Shin because he thinks he's cute, bro.
Yeah, I just that's the only two things that I really didn't like about this. And I'm not saying I didn't like the end. It's fucking way too intriguing. I want to know more.
Liev Schreiber looks kind of like him.
Yeah. I don't remember who's Liev Schreiber. What movies did he play?
The guy who plays like Wolverine's brother in Origins.
No, it wasn't him. It was somebody else.
Yeah. Nah, bro. Liev Schreiber could do it.
But yeah, he is pointing at something. Chris says, "Did you guys notice that the father was pointing at a structure in the mountain?" Yeah,
there's like a big tower thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was one of the things.
Most intriguing thing of the show.
Nah, there was just I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was fucking great. I just didn't like. I didn't think it was good as 5. It was probably tied with 7. You know what I'm saying? Because just as the lightsaber duels, they didn't talk as much. You know what I'm saying? There was more fighting, more action. I'm always in for the action when there's more action. As long as it fits with the story. If it didn't fit with the story, I'd be talking shit like Boba Fett. Like, this shit is stupid. What the fuck is going on? This motherfucker's riding a Rancor. We got all kind of fucking people we don't even need in here. Yeah, it would have been dumb. But it fit to the story. But that was like the only two things that I really found that I just didn't like. Now, we're going to go through and we're going to hear all the stuff that fucking, Garrison hater over here now doesn't like. What was the things that you didn't like about it, Garrison?
Okay, the first thing, the most obvious thing, that fucking force push was fucking stupid. You can't argue that in any way made sense. Like, this character has barely been able to use the force. We've seen absolutely no progress, no practice, nothing. And then snap of the fingers, not only is she forcing the lightsaber to her, but she's forcing a guy across a ledge like that. No shot.
Which that was a definitely shout out to the lightsaber shaking and shit, trying to use the force, going back to Luke. That was definitely a fucking Easter egg.
And I
to
get
the
that.
New Hope.
And like, cool little Easter egg. But again, we got fucking Luke. Took him forever to do that, you know what I mean? And now, what the fuck? She does it like for the first time, just like that, and forces a guy across a gap for the first time or second time she's ever used the force.
Picking up the lightsaber, that didn't bother me. Because she's learning.
Yeah, fine, whatever.
That didn't bother me.
But forcing a guy across the gap for the second time you've ever used the force? Yeah,
Yeah.
I call BS.
Doesn't work. That shit was just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? That's a Ray moment. That's
The
a definitely
title-
fucking.
Yeah,
That was
bro.
definitely a Ray fucking Disney Star Wars thing right there.
The title alone was kind of funny. The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord. Like that's pretty fucking. I see you, little cheeky Disney. I see what you did there. It's the
Yeah, it's
exact
not-
same as the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, bro.
Yeah, it's the
that was-
fucking.
yeah,
It was
I
a
know.
straight kick to. They said that.
I know. It was
They
funny. I just wanted to
Yeah, that
mention
was
it. I
funny.
thought it was funny. It was cheeky.
But
I feel like how they were trying to bring in emotion with Kanan and a little bit more of the backstory between Sabine and Ahsoka, and some of the emotional elements were a little bit rushed. I would have appreciated a little bit more backstory and development throughout the entire season. You know what I mean? Like they tried to like jam in all these emotional developments and resolutions into this last episode when we didn't have any buildup or any kind of growth with those earlier in this show. You know what I mean? So it made all the emotional times seem very like flat, very shallow, because we didn't have time to see the characters struggle with them. We didn't have time to see the characters grow with those emotions and grow with those dilemmas. I feel like it all just kind of got rushed in on the last episode. Like I said before, I'm not a big fan of all the Night Sister stuff. That's a personal opinion. I just don't think it's that good. When I think of Star Wars, I think of the movies, and like weird zombies and stuff just isn't really my thing. I don't like it in Star Wars. I get it was in some episodes of Clone Wars, but that doesn't mean I like those episodes of Clone Wars. You know what I mean? I'm not
in Clone
super
Wars,
into...
it was in Rebels, it's in the books, it's in every Star Wars movie. Anytime we see somebody use the Force.
It's not in fucking Star Wars movie, Kyle. No, it's fucking not.
Dude, fucking somebody shoots lightning out of their fucking fingers. That's magic. That's fucking Sith sorcery.
That's the Force.
No, it's
Okay,
Sith
congratulations.
sorcery.
That's not fucking zombies, Kyle. Jesus.
Dude, the fucking shit is it's Sith sorcery. It's black, it's dark side force. Rising the Dead. It's been in the books. It's been in cartoons. It's been in...
And why didn't Anakin bring Padme back to life?
He could have. But she would have been a fucking zombie. She wouldn't have been like a normal person. Like the techno beast. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different things that fucking Sith sorcery does. You know what I'm saying? And that's all they're using. They're using dark side force magic. It's basically Sith sorcery. And that's what the fuck they're using. And they can fucking... I mean, they had ghosts in fucking Rebels. They had zombies in fucking...
Who said Rebels
multiple
was that
fucking
good?
zombies. The whole fucking book... The whole book, Death Troopers, this is what Death Troopers are based off of.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? There's a whole book called Death Troopers, and that's what they're based off of.
Okay.
You know, it's part of Star Wars. It's being a part of Star Wars. Filoni just made it live action. That's all it is. Just like Force Lightning.
It's part of extended Star Wars, but again, it's not in the original movies. It's not in the prequels. Okay.
But Star Wars is not... Now you sound like one of them fanatics that be like, I'm not watching the cartoons because... And then you don't understand what the fuck is going on with the rest of Star Wars. It's part of Star Wars.
I'm aware. But I'm allowed to not like the zombie parts of Star Wars, Kyle. Jesus.
I didn't say you wasn't allowed to not like it. I'm just saying, you're saying that it's not part of Star Wars and it's been a part of Star Wars.
No.
That's what I'm arguing with you.
Listen to what I fucking said, Kyle. I said, it's my personal opinion. I don't like it in Star Wars. That's what I said.
It's been a part of Star Wars, though.
And that's your opinion. That's great.
It's not my opinion. It's the facts. The facts
I
is
never
zombies have been
said it wasn't. I just said I didn't like it. And I liked the movies. And I
But
don't
you
like
they're doing the same shit. They're using Sith sorcery. That's all the witches are. They're Sith sorcerers. That's all they are. They're dark side sorcerers. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And then even in the movies, because fucking Ray brought back Kylo, Star Wars team leader, just said that.
And we already agreed that was the stupidest fucking thing we've seen.
But it's still part of Star
think,
Wars.
I don't think the fucking sequels is something that we should be aiming for here.
But what I'm saying is zombies and magic and all that shit has been part of Star Wars since the very beginning. So every fucking movie has fucking magic in it.
Don't say the very beginning.
The very beginning.
Zombies have not been here since the very beginning.
Not zombies, but
don't pretend like they were in here since
magic
the beginning.
That can reanimate shit. They've done it before. You got Techno Beast. You got all these different things in the books. Plus, in the movies, he's shooting fucking lightning out of his head. That's Sith fucking magic.
Stands. These are your books. This is great. Good for you. It doesn't mean I have to like it, bro.
You picking up shit. That's fucking magic. That's not the Force is magic. That's basically what the Force is fucking magic. If everybody can't do it, then it can't. It's not fucking. But I don't know. They kind of said everybody can't do it because I don't remember fucking Sabine ever having any Force abilities, but she's throwing people across shit. So, you know what I'm saying? I guess everybody got fucking Force magic. But what I'm saying is just being part of Star Wars. When you say something like it wasn't in none of the movies, it was. Fucking Force lightning is Force magic. It's just a different type of magic.
Lightning is very different than fucking zombies, Kyle.
How?
Zombies is literal zombies. Lightning is lightning. The fact that we have two different words for it.
It's Force magic.
Oh my god.
It's dark side sorcery. That's what it is. Both of them. The lightning coming out of his fucking fingers is.
You're saying the same thing
sorcery.
over and over, Kyle. You're not gonna change my mind. I don't know what you're expecting.
Fucking
you're the toxic
zombies,
fan who won't let other people
and
have their opinion.
technically, they weren't zombies because zombies, you cut off their fucking head and they're not dead. When she cuts off the fucking zombie's head, the motherfucker was dead. It didn't get back up. The other ones got back up, but the one with their head cut off ain't getting back up. Zombies with their head cut off. They're reanimated by the fucking Sith magic. Once the Sith magic is gone, they're gone. They're gonna drop dead. Zombies don't just drop dead. You chop their fucking arm off, they keep coming. You chop the head off, they pick up the head and throw it at you and try to eat you. You know what I'm saying? They don't zombies don't. So technically, they weren't even zombies. As soon as they would have left the solar system, they would have dropped because there's no more fucking magic there. They ain't there to fucking keep the spell going. You know what I'm saying? So technically they weren't zombies. They were fucking reanimated fucking with Sith sorcery. Basically the same thing like Mork. Mork was just reanimated or fucking Force ghost or whatever you want to call it. Same thing. You know what I'm saying? It all comes from Sith sorcery. You know what I'm saying? So if you really break it down.
Again, that was the witches, though. That wasn't any Sith doing that.
It is Sith sorcery. It's dark side sorcery. That's what the fucking Mother Talzin and fucking the Night Sisters, that's what they use. They use dark side sorcery. And there's actually white sorcerers that are like good fucking Force sorcerers in Star Wars.
Okay.
What I am saying is there's no difference between lightning and fucking, it's still dark side sorcery. No difference.
No, there's a pretty big difference.
No, there's not. Why? Because one comes out sparkly and fucking light and the other one comes out green? Still the same shit.
No. Zombies and lightning are two different things, Kyle.
Zombies and lightning, but first off, we just
Bro, you can keep arguing all I want. All I said is I didn't like it. What's wrong with me not liking it? Am I required to like everything? You're becoming the very toxic fan you talk about.
How am I becoming a toxic fan? I'm saying,
why am I not allowed to not like something?
I didn't say you wasn't allowed to not like something. I didn't say that. I'm just saying your concept of what you're saying you don't like is wrong. That's what I'm saying.
And
Like
I've
because of the
seen
reason
why
that you don't like it.
I
You're saying you don't like it because it shouldn't be in Star Wars because it wasn't in none of the movies. I'm saying it was in the fucking movies. We seen it in the movies.
And it wasn't. We never saw it in the movies. We never saw a zombie in the movies.
You never
Kyle.
seen motherfuckers
Yes
use
or
dark
no?
side
Yes
sorcery.
or no? Did we see a zombie in the movies? Yes or no?
No, but we seen dark side sorcery, and the reason the
Okay,
zombies is
then.
there,
Great.
the reason the zombies are there is because of dark side sorcery.
We're agreed. Okay, let's move on. Jesus. Them forcing the ship up. Something about that scene was a little off. It looked weird to me.
What's in the? Oh, when they was holding the fucking shit when they got shot down by the TIE fighters.
Bodhi, shut the fuck
that
up.
was
Darth
kind of
Vader's
weird.
not a zombie. Oh my god. But yeah, it
Darth
looked a little
Vader's
weird.
a zombie.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Darth Vader never died.
Yeah,
He's fucking
and you
a
can keep
fucking
putting in the
cyborg.
chat 1,000 times. It doesn't make it right. So yeah, that scene looked a little bit weird. Again, I thought a lot of it was kind of rushed. A lot of stuff in this show, I feel like if they would have introduced it sooner, it would have been better. I still think this would have been better as a movie. I think the pacing would have been better. I think the flow could have been a little bit better. They could have gotten the suspense that they were going for, while also, you know what I mean? While also having the pacing fit better and having better development.
Revenge of the Sith, when he walks up, Palpatine says,
he was
Bodhi,
still
he's
moving.
still alive. He's still alive.
Yeah.
And he was still alive when they was putting on.
I don't know if
he's a
we're watching the
cyborg.
same movie, bro.
I think you're watching like fucking Starship Troopers or something. That's fucking Star Wars.
Anyways, that jump was dumb. Okay, we were talking about this right before the episode started. So when the Night Sister and Ahsoka were fighting on the top of the tower, right?
Oh.
Okay, and all the troopers surround them, and Palpatine and Ahsoka stops fighting, right? And they all kind of have her at gunpoint, basically saying like, and she's giving her villain speech. Then Sabine jumps up, and instead of like shooting, all the troopers just decide to run away. I thought that was a little bit weird. You got this bitch surrounded. You could have opened fire at any time and killed her. And now instead you just run away because one other person shows up instead of like shooting at her. That was a little weird. Exactly, Star Wars team leader. They should have all just fucking shot. I don't know why they all just immediately start running. That was kind of dumb. I thought while Ahsoka's choreography has improved tremendously throughout the show. She started off, like I said, like I thought her lightsaber scenes were pretty bad. This episode, fucking great. Fucking great, I'll give it to you. But Sabine is still weak, in my opinion. I don't think she's acting the part very well. I think Sabine is a very boring and dry character in this so far, just because there's no emotion in the way she's speaking. She's just very bland. Even with the lines that she gives, Sabine is kind of boring. But on top of that, she looked very uncoordinated, very slow, and very just clunky in her fighting scenes. Which is sad because like the character should be really sick. You got the Mandalorian armor, you got the Mandalorian gadgets, and a lightsaber. Should be dope, but I feel like she's just not performing it well. I think still the lightsaber scenes should have been sped up, like we've talked about from the beginning. They should have been sped up a little bit. I think that would have been better. Would have made the lightsaber scenes, I guess, hold their own a little bit better instead of seeming kind of slow. But the ending was good. I did like where they ended with all the characters and where all the characters were. That was a good ending. I like that.
That was it.
Yeah.
You're still wrong about fucking Fortnite. Nah, but it was I don't know. Overall, I liked it. I liked it a lot. There was things. Star Wars Team Leader said, "I love how Chopper knew exactly who was on the ship, where everyone else was just standing with blasters." Yeah, I did like that part. That was one of my favorite parts. It just brings the cast. The only person that we miss is Zeb, in having a full Rebels cast here in Kanan. Well, of course, Kanan can't be there. Come back as the Force goes, I guess. That would be kind of cool to see. But we already know that Freddie Prinze Jr. said he ain't doing no Star Wars. Period. I like that. Hera looked way better in this episode. Her makeup just didn't look all like somebody just smeared it on her like we did the first couple episodes. I like the interaction between her and Ezra at the end. The guy that's playing Efron or whatever his name is, the guy that's playing Ezra, I gotta give it to him. He's playing a pretty good fucking Ezra.
Bro, oh my God.
I was like, dude, fucking really? Aladdin's gonna be Ezra? But he played a fucking great Ezra.
The best parts of this show have been Balin. Nobody can argue that Balin's been the best part.
Yeah, Balin,
Ezra, and Thrawn have been the redeeming qualities of this show. Without them, this show would be a lot worse.
Well, I don't know. Since episode 5, Ahsoka's really done came around.
That's fair. I will give you that.
She made it a lot better.
Ahsoka has been better.
The first 4 episodes,
in the last 2 or 3 episodes. That's fair.
It was just fucking like. And I understand the part that she was playing, you know what I'm saying? Because Ahsoka was all serious and Rebels and everything.
It just wasn't well
serious,
delivered and executed.
Yeah, it just didn't seem fair to Ahsoka, you know, if that makes sense. It seemed a little bit like, fuck, y'all should have fucking got Ashley to fucking play Ahsoka. But she came around the last, you know, 4 or 5, 3 or 4 episodes. She came through there. The music was phenomenal. It was Kevin Kline, or however you say his name, that fucking dude. Music fucking amazing. The sound effects was fucking spot on. It was really good. The sword fighting clash. I did not like the fact that she cut fucking Ahsoka's other lightsaber in half. That kind of made me mad. Because Ahsoka needs to have 2 lightsabers. That's just Ahsoka. And I don't. Fucking the Mother Talzin's fucking lightsaber or fucking Source dark side sword, that shit was just like, you know, we seen it in fucking Clone Wars, and I understand why it was put into the episode. It makes sense, but it was just kind of it was kind of like it wasn't very unexpected. Like I thought they was gonna give her back the Mandalorian spear, make her another fucking Mandalorian spear, like her and Ahsoka fought in Mandalorian. So it was kind of nice. That was kind of thing, but it just, I don't know, it just didn't really fucking like do anything. Like, you know, it didn't really, to me, fulfill the story really. I don't really know how to explain. I just kind of feel weird about it. But the lightsaber fucking duel with the fucking sword and her and Ahsoka killing them, and the whole fucking fight scenes with the lightsabers against the Death Troopers, that shit was all fucking great. I mean, the lightsabers was actually going through the people and chopping heads off and shit, and that shit was cool. I really like that. I'm not the greatest fan of the way that they did it just didn't look realistic. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I didn't feel the fucking, like when Luke is holding up a ship, you know what I'm saying? Or fucking Darth Vader's holding back a ship, and I didn't like that because I'm like, dude, you fucking jerk you off the ground. Science doesn't work that way. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't look like that.
Shut up. You can't. No. That's been plenty of books, Kyle, and plenty of books, so it's a real thing.
There ain't no fucking, I ain't never heard in no book that fucking somebody was holding a fucking Star Destroyer down.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that dumb shit?
It happens in a bunch of comic books with Darth Vader.
But when Ahsoka and Ezra's doing it, I don't know. I didn't get it didn't feel realistic. Like, it felt real when, even though it can't happen, but like Luke and fucking Yoda's lifting up shit, you got that sense of they're using the Force. You know, they didn't fucking portray that to me on that thing. So you know, I didn't care for that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it didn't
but,
look like they were using the Force, right?
yeah, it just didn't. They didn't sell the fucking.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't sell it
look
right.
like they were using the Force. It literally just looked like them were going, huh, and just like holding a pose.
But
Star Wars team leader makes a good point. The girl holding up the lightsaber to the bandits. Yeah, I didn't like that either. And Bodhi says that like, oh, she's trying to show her power. Fucking Sabine ignited a lightsaber earlier, and they didn't respect that at all. So I don't know. I don't think there's a whole lot of power in just holding up a lightsaber.
Well, they didn't know her at first neither, and they know her now. So you know what I'm saying.
Maybe.
That's why.
Well, how do they know her? She was just hanging out with.
Because
Balin.
but her and Balin was together when they met up with the other ones when they attacked the little convoy thing.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying, and we don't know if they all died because then the stormtroopers came. Remember, so we don't know. You know, they might have run off. They might have had some other shit going on. We don't fucking know. They didn't tell us. That didn't bother me. The fourth thing when them holding up the ship, that was kind of it didn't bother me, but it was just kind of they didn't sell in the acting department, they didn't sell it very well. And that's fucking kind of hard when a fucking stuffed fucking Yoda can do it and it fucking in 1970 fucking 8 and it looked more realistic. But like that didn't bother me too much. Like I said, I didn't have really a whole lot to fucking like. Just the biggest thing is I do not like people that fucking learn how to use the Force 5 seconds ago and can fucking do fucking super Jedi shit. Like it fucking took Luke forever, and Luke was way more powerful than all these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Luke was the son of fucking Vader. You know what I'm saying? Of Anakin Skywalker. Like not a Padawan, not some fucking buddy that the Padawan thinks got a little bit of Force ability. Not none of that shit. And Rey didn't even know how to use the Force 5 seconds before that, and she's already telling motherfuckers what to do and fucking, you know what I'm saying, throwing fucking giant ass rocks and shit. Like, dude, you can't, like, you didn't even you learned how to use the Force 5 minutes ago. That's kind of how I feel about the Sabine thing. It just gave me that vibe, like, oh, come on now, this is fake as fuck, man. Like, you gotta make it realistic. Like, now, if she pushed him like a foot or 2 foot or like lifted him up a little bit, I would have been like, that's fine. But she threw him like fucking. like fucking 50 yards. Like
she launched him. Yeah,
that shit was just fucking.
Like her second time using the Force ever. Like,
but that was like the only thing that I really disliked. Like that I was like, dude, I can't. Like, why the fuck would you do that? You just ruined the whole show by doing that one fucking thing. But then I was like, nah, it's not really. The show was still fucking great.
One thing that I wanted to bring up. Don't attack me on it because I know y'all are fucking jerking off to the show. But
fuck you.
No, but okay, so when they come in, Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine come in and they like are facing off against a whole fucking squad of troopers. And they all start shooting at them and they all just like stand there for a good like 20 minutes. Like just blocking bullets. And my only thing is like there's no like looking for cover. There's no moving around. They just stand there blocking bullets. Okay. Now, the reason I'm not a huge fan of that is because, like, in other movies, in other Star Wars scenes, they're usually running around, and that obviously makes it hard for them to get hit and hitting, like, cutting down their enemies as they're moving and as they're blocking. They're not just all standing there in a line, not moving. You know what I mean? Without some kind of cover with a bunch of people with them. You know what I mean?
You know what I don't like about the whole series? Or one of the things that it bothers me about the series in general. For fucking 10 years, they've been stuck on this fucking planet and fucking Thrawn couldn't find them and fucking Sabine found them in like one day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I said that in that episode.
I don't fucking get it.
I said that before.
Like, I don't get it at all. Like, that's the one thing I've been thinking about it since fucking yesterday. Like, I don't fucking get it. Like, why did it take so long to fucking find Ezra? Like, and she like that shit.
I think that's a plot hole, realistically.
Well, I think that Thrawn might actually have
either a plot hole or B, he knew where Ezra was, he just didn't do anything about it.
Yeah. I think he knew where he was.
I think I mean I'm leaning more on that. Like that's what I was saying in that episode.
Because people say that Thrawn plays the long game.
Yeah, and just didn't do anything about it.
Bodhi says Thrawn explains that. When did he explain that?
He didn't explain it. Thrawn
said... Yeah, that definitely... Bodhi's right on that.
Thrawn said he had intel. Thrawn said we have like an idea of his whereabouts, but we don't know where he is exactly.
Yeah, I don't remember Thrawn saying he knew where he was at or explain why they didn't ever go after him.
Where does it show their force connection between Sabine and Ezra? That's fine if that's your answer, but where is that shown in the series? Because if that is true, then they should have shown more of that in the series.
Sabine has a force connection with Ezra. She barely had a force connection. She was fucking in shock when Ahsoka, which is her master.
Bodhi, I get you love the show, but chill.
I mean... That's in all honesty, like, and I know there's going to be plot holes. There has to be plot holes because that's fucking how George taught Dave to write fucking Star Wars. There's always plot holes in Star Wars. And then later on, they'll get explained. Pretty much everything is getting explained now.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying? So, but, and I don't even dislike the fucking plot holes or anything like that. My only problem with the whole series in general is they just had a lot of fluff scenes in it that they didn't need to have. Like, I agree with you. If somebody takes and makes this fucker a movie like they did Kenobi, it's going to be
it would have been better, right? Because
I think it would. I think
you still get the suspense that they were trying to create without the crappy timing.
Because the first 4 episodes were just kind of like, oh man, what the fuck is going on? And then it just made everything, like, to me, like, I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I love the fucking series, but I just think it could have been done better. And I think it was too long, which I'm not complaining about the length neither, guys. I'm not complaining about the length because I'd rather watch 8 hours of Star Wars than I would 2 hours of Star Wars. But I would rather watch 2 hours of good Star Wars than have a bunch of shit that just didn't need to be there. And that's all, that's my only real gripe with the...
was, like, they rushed certain parts. Like when stuff happened, it was rushed, but then the rest of it was like nothing's happening. You know what I mean? So like the emotional scenes were rushed. Like the character development and the emotions that the characters are going through was rushed, but then the whole overall plot was like lagging. So it was like, yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
Chris says, I assume that they are setting up that Ahsoka is going to keep training Sabine and Ezra is going to train Jason.
Yeah, I hope so.
The only reason that I don't want to see fucking, well, it's not even that I don't want to see it. I just don't think that, because if you kind of look at the way Hera's acting, she don't want Jason to be a Jedi. She's done lost. Well, I mean, now she done got back Ezra, but
yeah,
now
but I think she's gonna get
beam.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I just don't. It just does. Hera does not want him to be a fucking Jedi, even if he has force abilities. I think she'll try to push him in another direction, which would be a good plot twist. You know what I'm saying? Her arguing with Jason about being trained, and Jason like, I want to be a Jedi, mom, and she's like, no, that would be fucking good. You know what I'm saying? To actually be like some realistic shit. A parent arguing with their children. Like I said, I like the show. I like it. I would much rather have 8 hours of episodes than I would 2 hours of episodes. But I'd much rather have 2 hours of good than fluff that really didn't need to be there. I do think that they have a lot of explaining to do in season 2, and I think that it's going to be. Like I said, I still have faith in Dave, and I think season 2 is going to explain a lot of the stuff and fill in a lot of the plot holes or the movie, whichever. I think there's too much time difference between the movie starting. They'd have to rush too much into a movie to go from the point that he comes back into the New Republic or Republic space to get the Force Awakens. That's too much time period to cover in a 2.5 or even a 3 hour movie. I think that they have to have a couple more seasons, at least one more season to lead up to there, and then because in next season we're gonna get Luke, we're gonna get the Mandalorian. I don't know who they're planning on recasting Leia as with, but they're probably gonna recast younger Leia because we got to see Senator Leia. Well, I mean, I guess they don't have to, but it would make as much sense to. But they got a lot of stuff to lead up to, you know what I'm saying, lead up to where the Force Awakens starts. Because we know that's where Dave's movie is supposed to go from everything in Mandalorian and in the Mandalorian and Boba Fett and Ahsoka and then Skeleton Crew all have to lead up to where the movie starts. So we know we're getting season 4 of Mando. We still got to wait for Skeleton Crew to come out. And that's the ones that we know about. And then lead Ahsoka up to that point. Because right now, how the fuck are they going to lead into a movie and they're stuck on this fucking planet? Like, there's too much stuff that they need to detail out before they can get to the movie. So when people say the season 2 or the movie, I'm pretty sure there's going to be at least a season 2. Which I don't know how a season 2
I think either season 2... Yeah, but you also, like, just knowing how they've crossed over shows before, I could see them kind of finishing that story in, like, Mandalorian season 4 or something. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's possible, but I don't think that they're going to do
and
that.
The only reason I said that is
Crew.
because... Right. The only reason I say that is because we've already seen it. We saw Book of Boba Fett and Mando cross like nobody's like crossing all over the place. Number one. Number two, the fact that like in order to really know or care about a lot of the show, you had to be familiar with Rebels.
Yeah.
For any viewer,
but I still think they're
going to
come
Rebels,
out with season.
But for any viewer who hasn't watched Rebels, this show is absolute dog shit because they have no idea what the fuck is going on. You know what I mean? So, like, unless you are at least familiar, there's nothing. You know what I mean?
Now, my wife, I don't think my wife has ever watched Rebels, and she liked it. She liked Ahsoka. You know, I watched all the episodes with her. She watched them with me, and she's like, dude,
right.
She liked the whole thing.
But you don't understand any of the characters. You don't understand the emotional. In the season finale, you don't understand why any of this is a big deal. You don't understand why Revan's Thrawn's a bad guy. Yeah, you know what I mean?
And I knew the answers, you know what I'm saying, because I watched Rebels.
And you're sitting there walking her through it. That's a little bit different.
Well, I wouldn't say I walked her through it. I wouldn't say she asked a lot of questions, but she asked a couple questions like, okay, who is this guy? You know, because, I mean, you can see that Thrawn's the bad guy watching it. You kind of figure that out. You kind of figure out Ahsoka.
But you don't know what's like significant about it.
But like the significance about the show, you're not going to understand. You're going to be like, what the fuck is like, who are these people? Why are these people? But if you're a brand new Star Wars fan that's like brand spanking new, that's never seen any Star Wars, or maybe only seen The Mandalorian and like Book of Boba Fett, and you came in to watch this, you kind of have an idea of who Ahsoka is. Right. Because you've seen her. You kind of have an idea of not who Sabine or any of these other characters are.
You know Ahsoka, and that's about it.
You know Ahsoka just because she's been in Mandalorian and...
Right.
Well, she was in the Mandalorian.
And I'd argue Ahsoka wasn't even like the biggest. Like, I feel like a lot of times Ahsoka wasn't even the focus of this show.
No, I didn't get that. I do think she was the focus of the show. And I think the secondary
There were episodes where she was the focus, but like the last 2 episodes haven't really been about Ahsoka.
Well, you got a lot of characters. It's been more about stopping Thrawn. So I would say, I would agree with you to say the last couple episodes was really more about Thrawn than it was Ahsoka. But it still played part of the story.
And it was more about Sabine.
I wouldn't say that it would be like...
we really saw the most.
I wouldn't put it in the same categories like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Reva. Fucking Kenobi was about Reva. That's what that was about. But, you know what I'm saying? The last couple episodes was more, I think it was more a little bit focused on... Because they really didn't like Ahsoka's in both of the episodes, but in the last 3 episodes, You know what I'm saying? Ahsoka's been in the episode, but she just didn't like. You could tell that it was more about Thrawn and more about Sabine learning. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out things, but it was also more about Ahsoka trying to figure out who she was too. So you get a separation there. You kind of understand why it wasn't so much focused on her because she's trying to figure out who she is. She gets to the point, becomes the white Ahsoka, blah 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 down the road. You know what I'm saying? But I do agree with that. That it seemed like it was a little bit more like the first 5 episodes, 4 episodes, 5 episodes was really about Ahsoka, and then it kind of went more into like a wider
for me
cast
it was like for me it was like the first 3 were more about like Sabine and Ahsoka's relationship. 4 and 5 were like Ahsoka. This is where it actually felt like it was about Ahsoka. But since episode 5, this was more about Sabine and Ezra, it seemed like.
Well, I don't know so much even about Ezra. I think the last 2 episodes I really got mostly
maybe
fucking
not
Thrawn vibes.
Ezra, but definitely Sabine. Thrawn was definitely a big one. That's true. And actually,
and that's
like,
kind of important though to the. I mean,
right. I you can't get mad at them for focusing a lot on Thrawn because
Thrawn is the new.
Make that, well, he's the new bad guy, number 1. But number 2,
you gotta
the whole argument for all the fans who don't know who Thrawn is, you need to have a lot of episodes. To show the threat.
Well, at least
so
at
I'm
least
not mad
know the
about
books.
That. I'm not mad about that. I'm just saying.
You just So I mean, and like I said, with season 2, I think Dave will come in and explain a lot of things to us. And I don't know. I have this gut feeling that people said it, and I think somebody in the chat actually said that they wouldn't recast. Dave wouldn't recast Baylan, and I don't agree with that. Like, dude, you wouldn't leave us on that, which we don't know. I mean, they fucking could have filmed all of season 2 already before he ever passed away. We don't know the exact timeline. We don't know how long they've been working on this.
Yeah,
we're assuming that because we don't know what was happening. Just because a lot of fucking places closed down for fucking COVID. We don't know if they did.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
The big thing was like this was the most engaging character with the most interesting motivation, the most interesting goal. And now you've left us on this journey that's about to take place of him finding what he's looking for. They can't just I don't see them just dropping that. They can't drop their most engaging and most awesome like subplot in the show.
And it really was.
Finding
out what he's looking for, and then leave us on the Mortis gods. Like, dude, you can't. Like, I don't know. There's a reason because we got the bird in we got the fucking owl, and we got the Mortis gods.
Right.
That's like the fucking biggest plot you can put in there because we got to know about this power. Plus,
so either A, they're going to recast him, or B, they're going to somehow end him and find a way for his apprentice to kind of carry on.
They got to explain the story. They got
that story.
Well, and I posted on our Instagram today about the orange lightsaber because I did a little bit of research about that.
Right. I saw that.
So what I came and what I put in the thing, and also I didn't put everything in there because you're only allowed a certain amount of fucking characters within Instagram posts. But I also was reading an article that a fucking Sith like bleeds a fucking fucking crystal and turns it red, kyber crystal, and turns it red. If you are not strong enough in the dark side, your lightsaber will become orange because you're not strong enough to bleed to bleed it completely to red. Not that you're not strong in the Force, you're just not strong enough with the dark side to bleed a fucking crystal. So they kind of put them, so basically it becomes a combination between yellow, which is more of like a gray Jedi color, and a red. So it puts you right in between. And that's the reason that Baylan could not fucking, that's why him and Shin's lightsabers are not fucking red, they're orange, because they were not powerful enough in the dark side to bleed them to red.
I think it's they aren't dark enough. Like, to be a part of the dark side, you have to have think about the hate and the anger that has to be a part of it.
Yeah, you gotta fucking like
I don't
draw
think they
on
have
people's fear and shit like that.
They don't have that same extent of hate and anger.
Well, and I don't know if Shin doesn't. Like we know because she got certain orange lightsaber that she wasn't able, but will she? I don't know. It wasn't really. It was red at the end, wasn't it?
I don't. Well, Shin is different. We've already talked about how Balin and Shin are different.
But Balin is
Shin
definitely
seems a lot more dark than Balin.
Balin is definitely like he's almost like a neutral. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like a fucking like even with the things that he says, like the balance, and you know with him
like
talking about the fucking the fucking the cycle, going Sith Jedi,
Right.
Sith, people in power, and how the whole cycle needs to stop. That. And which is, basically something that Qui-Gon said, like, we do what we must, we follow the Force. And that's kind of where he's at, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just following the Force. He's just doing what he thinks is right to end this fucking cycle, which is his own belief, but at the same time, so that's a little bit more dark, following your own fucking thing instead of following the complete Force. But at the same time, he's kind of like following the Force. Like, the Force is saying, all right, I'm tired of this shit. And I think that's why the whole plot with the Mortis gods is there, because the Mortis gods are who's in control of the fucking Force. So there has to be a plot somewhere in there for the fucking Mortis fucking gods to come within. I wouldn't say so much in the series, but like the ideals that came from the Mortis arc to be in there. And that's why that's why I believe that they're gonna recast them, or they already shot the shit, because why would you leave that in there? There's a point for that part to be in there with the Mortis gods and him standing on the arm looking at the tower in the distance. There's a point to that. And Dave don't usually not explain his points at some point in time. So it has to be explained. So they either got to recast him and like I agree that Shin might, something might happen to him and she feels it through the Force and she goes looking for him and then he tells her to finish his task. I see something like that happening. But at the same time, like,
I just can't see them dropping that completely.
Yeah, I just can't. I don't see Dave doing it. Dave likes to finish a story. You know how hard it is to not finish a story? Hopefully they just got the season 2 and it explains it in season 2 and they shot the shit already, because we don't really know the timeline. We don't know what they got done already. I mean, and even if there's fucking articles out there about it, it's propaganda articles, because fuck, you don't know. People, they say all kind of fucking shit and then lie to us and then fucking come out and that's not even the truth. So I don't know, man. I fucking want to know. God damn it, I want to know. So, what'd you think of this episode? Like, overall, I mean, what would you rate this episode?
Like, objectively or personally? Because those are two different things. Because we already
give your honest opinion of what you thought of the episode.
Right. Like, objectively speaking, as like how I usually like to rate episodes, I'd probably say it like I said, I feel like a lot of parts of the show were underdeveloped. I think it would have been better as a movie. The timing, the development, the emotions were rushed or lagging in different places. So I think it wasn't the greatest finale. It wasn't as good as some of the other episodes we've seen. I think I'd give it, I'll say a 6.
6.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only thing that really bugged me about the episode in general was the Force push, because that shit just was stupid. Other than that, I really enjoyed it. Now, there was some things that, second and third time I watched it, that I noticed, like the fucking, just the way they was holding up the fucking starship just looked at real, like, amateurish. It wasn't good acting. They did do better on the dogs, though. Even though we didn't really get to see them that well, the CGI on the dog looked great. Even on them riding the dogs, it looked more like, it looked a lot better.
The lightsaber fight, Ahsoka has gone. You can definitely see that Ahsoka Rosario Dawson
Rosario
was
Dawson.
practicing, or the choreography was better. Something was better about this lightsaber fight.
It looked way better. And I don't know, like I've said plenty of times before, Rosario Dawson just was always the age chick to me. But in these last couple episodes, she being a lot hotter. So she looks a lot better. Especially when she smiles. I don't know what it is. She got a pretty smile. I didn't. The Sabine parts really didn't bother me. Ezra did fucking great. Michelson did fucking phenomenal as fucking Thrawn. There was a lot of things, but it just wasn't 5. I don't know. 5 just set the standard so fucking high for me with that Darth Vader fucking that shit. That shit was fucking dope. So I'd probably say 7.5. I'll say 7.5. There was a few things wrong with it. And I'm not really looking at it as a finale. A lot of people say, oh, it's for a finale. It got to be fucking great. No, because I know that there's going to be a season 2. I know that there's going to be a season 2. Or they're going to go right into the movie and then the movie's going to suck because it's going to be rushed with like 5 million characters. It's going to be like Boba Fett with just so many different characters and so much shit going on. It's like, what the fuck is happening? And I really hope that they don't do that. But I don't think they will. I really think that Dave and them, they got some shit up their sleeve. And it's going to be fucking, by the end of it, everything's going to flow in real nice together. I think it's going to be really fucking
that
cool.
brings. So do you want our average for the entire show then?
Yeah.
That means it's a 7. The show's a 7.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Overall, a 7. Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's not that it wasn't a fucking best show. It wasn't Mando season 1 or nothing like that. But at the same time, it wasn't Boba Fett.
So far, how it's ranked, it's not as good as Mando season 1 or 2. It was significantly better than Mando season 3. It was better than Bad Batch, at least according to our average.
It's better than Bad Batch.
Well, the last season of Bad Batch.
I mean, the last season of Bad Batch wasn't bad. It just wasn't
as good as Andor.
Andor's a hard one to beat.
Yeah. Andor, our average was like almost an 8. It was in decimals, but it was almost an 8.
Andor is good. Like the only thing I don't like about like the show itself, Andor is great, but like I said, it just didn't give me Star Wars type of vibes. It really didn't. And maybe season 2, and that's something I got out of Mando, even season 1 and season 2, before we even had any like real fucking Jedi or, anything spectacular. Well, I guess we had Ahsoka in season 2 in Luke, but there wasn't a whole lot of like Force stuff in there, but it still really felt like Star Wars. And I'm not even putting Obi-Wan Kenobi, because it's not that Obi-Wan Kenobi didn't make me feel like Star Wars. It did. It just the camera shaking and the weird fucking shit that was going on and how it was about Reva and not about Obi-Wan kind of just pissed me the fuck off. And then Boba Fett, it still felt like Star Wars. It just wasn't, the character wasn't Boba Fett. Both
character and like Boba Fett, we already talked about. The story wasn't very good. Ruined the character. Action was not as good. It was cheesy. So.
Yeah. So, but like, I think it's on the right side. It's on the right side of being the better part of Disney Star Wars anyway. Like we could like comparing it to like Revenge of the Sith would be fucking stupid.
Yeah. I'd say. I mean, overall, personally, it's not one of my favorite shows, but it's definitely better than what we're used to. It's better than the average that we've had from Disney.
I would put it above Solo. Solo's good, but personally,
I think Solo's better.
The first fucking bit of Solo is just terrible to me. Once I get going, once about Chewie comes in, then it gets a lot better. Maybe even a little bit after that. Once everybody gets going, once the story gets going, Solo is really good. But that's how I think about Ahsoka. Once the story really got going and you got a little bit more in depth with the characters and a little bit more action going on and
Right.
some
The
actual
thing,
plot,
the thing I didn't.
it got way better. Like, because
Yeah,
I would say since episode 5, so like the last 4 episodes, fucking excellent. Fucking like some of the best Star Wars that there is. But the first 4 episodes really fucking just killed the overall thing. And I understand it's all about fucking Ahsoka's characters. But it was just, I think they could, I personally believe that they could have done a lot better. They could have told us more. They could have drawn out the story a little bit more, and it would have just been, it would have been better. Not that it was bad. I don't think any of the episodes was like fucking just piece of shit episodes. But at the same time, I just think that they could have done a little bit better on the first 4 episodes. So if I was like really going to rate this thing, I would, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I want to hear what you would say.
I would say I would give it, if it was me personally, I'd give it 7.5, maybe 7.8. And Solo, I would give like a 7.4.
I think it would have made like an 8.
I agree with you on that.
I think the movie would have been like an 8.
And hopefully that dude that did fucking Kenobi, because that Kenobi movie is fucking way better than the fucking series. Like, and it still has a camera shake in there because, of course, it's in the film. But, you know what I'm saying? Right. It just, they cut out so much of the other stuff and it actually seemed more like Kenobi after he cut out a bunch of the Reva shit that was just pointless. You know what I'm saying? Because they made it too much about Reva. And then, but if that guy does the same thing, I thought about doing it, I just don't have time.
Yeah, and the movie version of this, you're right, would have been better than Solo.
It would have been. And I think at one point, a lot of this shit was supposed to be movie. And then they had to extend it out. Because if you really think about it sometimes, when we're like watching stuff, it seems like they extended out scenes that they really didn't need to extend it out. Like it was actually a movie. If you go back, even watch like Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi and, well, which we knew Obi-Wan Kenobi was originally written as a movie. And then they had to rewrite it. But it kind of seems like this was actually like they might have wrote this as a movie at one point. And they said, why don't you make it a fucking series and we'll do like 8 parts. And he just like left in a lot of footage that, you know what I'm saying, really wouldn't have been in there. Which, I mean, it is what it is. But I personally think that it could have been better. But I'm not dissatisfied with what we got. I'm satisfied. I think it would go down in the fucking Star Wars Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? It to me it fit within the thing.
Hall
it's not
of Fame.
Like, yeah.
Bro, Hall of Fame, you got to be like 8, 9, 10.
No,
7.
No.
It's not Hall of Fame, bro.
Like, pretty much everything except season 3 of Mando.
I'm convinced there's parts of this that were definitely like Hall of Fame worthy, but there was also a lot of like bad that brought it down. You know what I mean? That's why I keep thinking like it as a movie would have blown everyone away.
I mean, even as a series, I think because there's I mean, if you think about New Hope, right? And you looked at New Hope. New Hope will be in the Hall of Fame. It's fucking original Star Wars. It's going to be in the Hall of fucking Fame. But New Hope is not that fucking great of a movie. Probably out of all of the fucking George Lucas movie, New Hope was probably one of the, because it was just very boring. Even when you was a kid at the beginning, like it was hard to sit there and watch the very beginning until they lead up to the good parts. You know, it was very boring, very, very drawn out. And it's still fucking great, and it'll make the Hall of Fame. And that's kind of how the beginning of Ahsoka was. It was very boring and drawn out. But once it got going, it jumped up to pretty fucking good with everything. And I'm talking about everything from fucking the acting to the fucking, you know what I'm saying, choreograph to everything. It jumped up there pretty quick. So I think like I would put it in the Star Wars Hall of Fame. Book of Boba Fett, no. Obi-Wan Kenobi, no.
Oh, no
Sequel
chance.
trilogy, no. And it's not even all like the sequel trilogy. It just doesn't deserve to be in the Star Wars Hall of Fame. That's like other fucking. That's not the real sequel.
Right, and I think parts of it deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I just don't think the whole thing does.
And also think about like this things that will be talked about for a very long time. I'm sorry, that fucking Anakin Vader walking, that's just going to be talked about for some fucking years.
Parts of it, I agree. Parts of it are definitely Hall of Fame.
The fucking
parts of
like
it.
That's almost as dope to me. To me, if not as dope, maybe doper than the fucking hallway scene. To me, that's just my personal opinion. That fucking him walking and the shit flashing back and forth between him and Vader, like they don't even lose step. It's so fucking done, so fucking good. It's like it's spectacular. It's probably one of the best Star Wars scenes ever. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is fucking dope. And it's something that we had never seen before. We have never seen anything like that, and not even in the cartoons where we've seen anything like that.
You know what we should start doing, Kyle?
What?
We should like have an actual Star Wars character Hall of Fame, like who we induct into the Hall of Fame. And every episode that comes out, we get to choose whether each character has earned a spot in the Hall of Fame.
Ooh. Well, fuck Anakin and Darth Vader. They'd fucking be number one. God damn, they're the fucking best character there.
Well, obviously, there's enough of like the original, but like now when every movie show comes up, we can decide, will this character be in the Hall of Fame? That's an idea right there.
That is a good idea. We should start doing that. Because Balin's going in the Hall of Fame, even if they don't even recast him and don't do anything else with the color.
Bro, Balin's definitely in the Hall of Fame.
Balin is just, he's not scary. He's not fucking.
And
he's not scary, and he's not scary. He's just fucking like, he just the fucking, like he is like one of the most intriguing characters that I've ever.
Yeah.
You can't help it. He's too fucking intriguing, man. It's like, dude, who is this guy? What is this guy all about? What is he looking for? What does he want to do? And they only gave you like little bitty fucking nuggets, like, you know what I'm saying?
That's some good writing. Good writing right there.
Fucking, it just like he's so captivating, and I don't know why. Like, cause he didn't do shit the whole fucking series. He really didn't do anything. But he's fucking dope. Like, I don't know why. He's just fucking dope. I want to know more about him.
I will give Dave Filoni. That's one thing I will give Dave Filoni.
That motherfucker is the like.
Dave Filoni makes excellent, mysterious, like side characters. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you just fucking. I want to know more about him. That's why I'm like, dude. I'm so hoping they recast him. Like hey. Rest in peace, Ray Stevens.
Bro,
we love you.
I'm scared if they recast him.
Did such an awesome job, but I need to know more about this character. I really hope they recast him. And I've never really said that about anybody.
Scared.
I never said that about anybody. That I really wish that I'm always against recasting, but I want to know more about this fucking character. I want to know what happened, so I really hope they recast him. If they didn't film it, if they filmed it already, then that's even doper. But if they didn't, they really need to fucking get somebody that can come in and fucking play this character and fucking, which it might suck, man, and that'll be so bad if they brought in and they just ruined it, brought in a new fucking recasting them and it just fucking was terrible, non-believable fucking guy acting as Ray Stevens. Like, oh no, this is not good. I mean, and that's definitely a possibility. We know that.
I mean, I want the character to keep going, but I'd be scared to recast him. Like, you got to make this casting perfect.
I don't know, but I think we could do. That's a good idea. We could fucking.
What's an episode idea?
Like, does they make them into a fucking? We could do a whole show about that and just go through all the characters and just fucking. Like a fucking, did they make it into the Star Wars Hall of Fame?
On whether they make it in the Hall of Fame, yeah.
And vote on whether or not they make it into the Star Wars Hall of Fame. Okay, that's our Saturday episode, you guys. We're gonna do the fucking Star Wars Hall of Fame, and we're gonna fucking.
But you gotta. Okay, let's specify right here. Does Hall of Fame mean like they're fame and they're well known enough, or is this like good enough characters, or is it like let's say if a character
good enough characters in our opinion,
everybody
like
hates
us
him.
In the chat.
Yeah, But does everybody hate him so much that they're now in the Hall of Fame, or no?
Fuck yeah. Well, you shit.
So
I mean, you gotta put Jar Jar in the fucking.
Like, is he in the Hall of Fame? Because everybody doesn't like him.
You gotta put Jar Jar in the Hall of Fame, man. You gotta put Jar Jar in the Hall of Fame, and everybody fucking hates him. Like, I can't fucking stand Jar Jar, but Jar Jar made Phantom Menace better because he was in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Without him, it wouldn't have fucking, that shit would have been stupid. It would have been dumb. It wouldn't have made no sense. You have to have Jar Jar in there for the Phantom Menace to make sense. You gotta have fucking Jar Jar in the second one. So he's probably the most hated character in Star Wars.
Yeah. But he
The
deserves
character
a spot
himself was just fucking annoying. But if he wasn't there, it would have been fucking, it wouldn't have made no sense. So.
All right. That was my question.
Basically, it's like, but I don't know. Like I don't know how to I don't know how to say that because, like, fuck everybody. Darth Vader's gonna be in there. There's no fucking question. Don't nobody not like Darth Vader. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck don't like Darth Vader? Now Palpatine,
bro. Darth Vader's in the all-time just movie Hall of Fame, let alone Star Wars Hall of Fame.
But Palpatine, like, fucking, like, if you really think about it, Palpatine was like a very minute character within the whole 6 parts. He didn't have a major, like, his fucking, like, him as a character.
What? Bro, you're wild.
We've seen him fucking, like, total fucking time in the entire fucking 6 movies is like fucking 9 minutes. You know
He's the puppet master. That's the point.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, if you look at the overall movie, if you look at the fucking 6 movies, he's like total like 15 minutes. He's in 6 fucking movies. Like, that's all the time that he has in the fucking movies. Like, you rarely even see him. So would I say he needs to be in the fucking Hall of Fame? No, man. Darth Vader was way doper as a character. Darth Vader was fucking way better. Luke was way better. Han was way better. Palpatine was just kind of like, we know what he did, but he was like barely in the shit. Like, fuck, we got more fucking, we had more fucking, Jar Jar than we did fucking Palpatine in the fucking movie. It's like,
all right. Well, that will have to be a discussion we have.
But and that's what we'll do it. Garrison, you're in charge of making the bracket. You know what I'm saying?
A bracket is just a list. It's not a bracket.
Yeah, just make a list of all the Star Wars characters. And you gotta think about it. Are we putting Revan and Bane in there? Who all are we putting in there? Is it well, because Revan and Bane is in canon. So like, are we doing, like, how are we doing?
Well, think about it. We could also, here's another idea. We could either make it could be an episode, or we could also do like a Hall of Fame section in our show where every show we induct a new member into the Hall of Fame.
Or we discuss, like, we'd have to do like a couple members, like do like 10 an episode. You know what I'm saying? We'll go through the list.
But then you'd run out. You'd run out.
Dude, there's so many. If we do all the characters, all the Star Wars characters of all times, holy shit. And then we just vote. We'll just vote. Me, you, in the chat. Whoever's in the chat will vote. And then we'll keep a list of yes or no. And then we'll fucking just keep going down. Once we get to the end of the characters, then we just start going through them.
So is that going to be one episode, or is that going to be like per episode?
We could do that per episode. We could do, like, I could make a thing and we could do that like a fucking per episode thing. Like, make a fucking, like the Housebreaker type thing.
Right.
Like,
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. We'll go through and fucking literally say whether or not, and it'd be us and the chat.
No, I think you should do like, each episode should have like 5 at a time. And then we'll do this Saturday we can have like an opening where we do like 10, 15 characters. And then from then on, every episode.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do the episode on that, and we'll go through and do the ones that are definitely going into the Hall of Fame. We'll argue those ones.
Like 10.
So this weekend is
10 that are
Star Wars definite Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I don't know if I'll name it that, but we'll do a definite Hall of Fame. We'll talk about that, and then every episode from there. And then when we get, and we'll go down, and we'll fucking go all the way down, and then we'll start putting the Hall of Fame people against each other on who's a better character within Star Wars, and we'll go all the way down to who's the number 1 character in Star Wars.
There we go.
And we'll do that per episode.
Ideas. Look, great ideas.
That's
Inspiration.
That's some good shit. Yeah, inspiration coming.
All right.
And see, that's honestly, I've been writing more ever since Ahsoka came on. I've been writing more in the book. You know what I'm saying? Because it's inspiring. Like, it is inspiring to get Star Wars back. Like, something that's actually on the fucking, not the downside of Disney. You know, something that's actually better on Disney. So that was very inspiring to me because
it's definitely better, and there definitely has been some awesome parts. I won't argue with that.
But there has also been some parts that were just like, what the fuck? Like today.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there we are. Overall, we got a 7 for the entire season.
For the entire show, it's about a 7. Yep.
That's good characters. Oh shit.
That's not bad.
Oh. But I definitely think that there's
there was some great parts to the show. There were some flipping 9.9 moments, but there was also some like 1.0 moments. So you know what I mean?
yeah. So I think a 7 is a good
I think
number
7's
for it.
good.
Oh shit, that would be kind of cool, Bodie. Bodie says, what he finds makes him young again? That could be recast, and that would make sense.
But that doesn't like change the.
Well, they don't even have to make him one.
You know
I'm
what I
trying
mean?
to
'Cause
think of
he's
the
talking
guy.
about
Who was the
changing
guy
the-
in the movie? What was the guy's name in the movie that fucking when Morgan Freeman was the president, and he was fucking
Channing
like,
Tatum.
No, it's not Channing Tatum. Fucking, oh man, what the hell is that guy's name? I'm trying to think of the fucking movie.
Oh, that was Jamie Foxx. I'm sorry.
Oh, that wasn't Jamie Foxx. I thought Jamie Foxx was the president. And the
No,
other
Jamie
dude.
Foxx was the president.
Oh,
Sorry, I was thinking of a different movie. Sorry.
I think Morgan Freeman's the fucking president in this one, and he's fucking him in there on the boat. What other movies is that guy playing? Hold up, you're like breaking up. I can't hear what you're saying.
No. So Morgan Freeman, were they trying to kill Morgan Freeman in the movie?
Yeah, he was the president. They were trying to kill him, and they were on the boat, and they were fishing.
Yeah.
And then they came after
Gerard
the dude.
Butler is.
Yeah,
who you're
Gerard
thinking of.
Butler.
Yeah,
If
you're
you
thinking
like-
Gerard Butler.
If you look at their facial structure, they look the same. Like his hair is darker, of course,
Similar,
because he's
similar.
younger. They look really similar. So if like they dyed his hair all white and shit, and you know what I'm saying.
He's also
and he's a great fucking actor.
Leonidas in 300. He's also Leonidas in 300, so we know he can.
Yeah.
He could definitely
That's
use a
what I'm saying.
lightsaber.
But they were showing a picture of them side by side, and they look really, really, really fucking close to looking together. They dyed his hair, and Gerard Butler's a fucking great actor, so he can pull it off if they can recast.
He
him.
is a great
If
actor. He's a fucking insane actor. I just don't think they'll be able to get him for this.
I don't either. but
Gerard,
that would,
the only thing I'm worried about, Gerard Butler in Star Wars, like that would be sick. Are you kidding me?
But they were showing it on.
Like-
I seen it. I think it was on a TikTok. TikTok post. They were showing them looking right next to each other. Like the pictures, I was like, "Damn, that's pretty fucking close." They do look a lot
I would
alike.
love to see Gerard Butler in Star Wars. Are you kidding me?
I mean, they've done other things. Star Wars team leader said Saturday I may
He would
not
make
be
a
able to
good
chat.
Bane.
Dressed as Balin running the event table, but we'll be watching. Thank you, Star Wars team leader, for that. Loki starts tomorrow. I haven't watched Loki. I haven't watched any of the Loki series. Like I'm not gonna say I haven't watched it. I watched the first a part of the first one, part of the second one, a part of the third one of the first season, and and it wasn't even that I didn't like it. I just got distracted doing other shit, and then I just didn't watch it. Like I really don't the only thing I really watch is Star Wars shit. Like on all honesty, I watch Star Wars shit, and then when new movies go out and I go to the movies, I'll watch some. Or if it's something like I've been watching a lot of NCIS because my wife is going through NCIS, so I have no choice. And I've been watching Rick and Morty, but other than that, I really don't have the time to get into the Marvel series. Plus, the two Marvel series that I did sort of watch, they were just not no good. You know what I'm saying? She-Hulk and the other one with the fucking the one girl, whatever, fuck that. This shit was just not good. I was like, dude, this is not good at all. This is like fucking terrible. Y'all are fucking Marvel and Star Wars. So quit making this shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I just really don't have a lot of time to watch. But since we're talking about zombies and we've been talking about Death Troopers this whole episode, I'm trying to get it ready. I got somebody reading the book right now. Death Troopers should be coming out starting next Tuesday. I'm going to put Death Troopers out on Tuesdays and Fridays. So you'll get Red Harvest on Mondays and Thursdays. You'll get fucking Death Troopers. Because I think, and what kind of brought it to me on this, to do this on Tuesdays and Fridays, to do Death Troopers, even though it's not part of the Old Republic, and I've been kind of focusing on the Old Republic, is because a lot of people don't know where Dave's references to Death Troopers comes from. You know what I'm saying? And what makes them the Death Troopers. Even though it's not exactly the same, it's not even close. But to hear the story, you know what I'm saying, to put the story out would be, you know, I thought would be a good time. Especially because it's fucking Halloween. Them is the two horror fucking stories of Star Wars. Red Harvest and fucking Death Troopers. You got fucking, I don't know what the fuck them things that fucking Red Harvest are. I don't know if the fucking Sith students that got drugged with some fucked up shit and turned them into fucking, now them motherfuckers are zombies. Motherfucker falls off a fucking 20-story fucking building, cracks his fucking neck, all his bones break off, and the motherfucker's still alive, gets his head cut off, and the motherfucker's still alive. That's some fucking zombies. But I figured because it's Halloween, and it kind of fit with everything that I was going to put it out. So it's coming out starting next Tuesday. Well, if the guy that's reading it for me gets it done by then, but we'll see. So I was going somewhere with this. I got the fucking rambling. I forgot where I was going.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we can recap. So this weekend, we'll give a little bit more thoughts about Ahsoka, I'm sure.
Yes, we're going to talk
To
about
our
Ahsoka
top
more.
10 Hall of Fame.
Because this is just our personal opinions. Because I haven't really been on fucking Twitter or TikTok or none of that shit since yesterday. Because I don't try to go on there because I don't want to be influenced. Not to say I haven't been on there, because I have been on there. You know, I got to post shit, and then, you know what I'm saying, some chick with some big ass titties and fucking Ahsoka gear will be on there, so I got to look at her for a minute. But, you know what I'm saying? Fuck, man, I keep losing my train of thought. What the fuck was I talking about?
I don't know, bro. Stop smoking
social
the
media.
Devil's
I was
lettuce.
talking about
I'm
social
just
media. But I tried. By Saturday, we both looked at social media, so we're going to have some, you know what I'm saying, maybe something, we seen something that changed our mind about something, or see something that makes fucking things worse. Don't ever know when it comes to social media, because social media is a fucking madhouse anyway. Like, literally, fucking episode 7, I seen a fucking argument that went on for 2 days. 2 fucking days. You motherfuckers was back and forth arguing about episode 7. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Fuck, I'm just waiting for episode 8. Y'all still talking about episode 7.
7 was like the least controversial of the sequels.
I was like, God damn. They were just arguing like a motherfucker over episode 7. Like, Jesus Christ. For 2 whole days, like, I just kept getting the fucking ding, because I put a comment in there, so you know every time somebody new puts a comment in there, it dings your fucking phone.
Do you remember,
God.
like, the theories going around after 7? Like, bro, 7, because 7, like, granted, it wasn't great, but, like, 7 was good enough where,
good.
like, I still had hope. And I was, like,
Yeah.
still excited.
Yeah, it was. It was fucking, I don't know, like the last...
I think 7 gets a bad rap because of 8 and 9, but 7 wasn't awful.
I don't know. 5 was just fucking... 5 is my favorite episode. I can't say it enough. 5 is fucking great. Well, so this weekend we're gonna do
3.
We'll talk about
5,
Ahsoka,
yeah.
then we'll fucking go into the Hall of Fame.
Obviously.
Do we want to call it the Hall of Fame, or do we want to call it?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll just call it the Hall of Fame, and then we'll have the grand prize winner.
The Star Wars Council.
Because my brain is fucking working right now. That's probably why I can't think, because it's trying to come up with a fucking title for the fucking episode already. Like, how the fuck am I going to title this? This is a fucking hard one to title.
Hall of Fame, like the grand opening of the Hall of Fame, and then we'll have like a little Hall of Fame, like do a couple characters an episode, officially inducting so-and-so to the Hall of Fame. This is going to be great.
I think it's going to be good, and then we can get to the number one Star Wars character because we can just keep once we get to the end of all the Star Wars characters. Well, we gotta go. We'll have our top
/ Anakin.
Yeah, that's probably who it's going to be, but we'll know who the top 5
We
is
can still
anyway.
argue about it. We'll definitely get a hierarchy.
But it's not just us. That's another thing. It's not just us. It's everybody in the chat.
Yeah, y'all have to vote.
Everybody has to vote. That way we know who gets inducted and who doesn't, and then we'll just go down. It's an all around vote.
Well, because what if like I vote no and you vote yes? We need the chat to break the tie. You know what I mean?
Or shit, it might be. We might have to go to social media. If we can't figure one out, we go to social media.
Yeah.
And we'll tally it up there.
All right, I think that's it for tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. I got some good ideas. Some brains.
Love it.
I had a few brain farts tonight, which I feel like shit. I feel like fucking crap. I was at work like, why did I come here today? But yeah, I think that's it. And then we don't know when we'll do the watch party for fucking The Force Awakens. I'm not too excited about these last couple ones for the watch party. It'll be fun because we get to talk a lot of shit about all the mistakes that they made. But we'll let y'all know when that's coming on. Like I said, there'll be new episodes starting on Tuesday of Star Wars Audio Archives. So definitely go over there and check that out. We're going to be doing Death Troopers and Red Harvest, which we've been doing Red Harvest, but now Death Troopers will be out. And they're pretty long episodes. They're going to be like at least an hour long each one because I'm just doing 6 parts. I want it to be done before Halloween. So starting next week, it should be done before Halloween, 2 a week for the last 3 weeks of October. And I think that's about it, guys. We will see you guys on Saturday. Stay outrageous. Garrison, you're wrong. And may the Force be with you.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you've enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. LightSaber Radio is produced by PicFilm Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Garrison Turcotte, CJ Elliott, and Kyle McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.